I discovered something about the brain that scared me at first, because it explained why I failed, why I doubted myself, and why I felt like I wasn't enough. But once I understood it, once I learned how to use it, everything in my life changed. And it's something most people never hear in their entire lifetime. Your brain cannot tell the difference between an event that happens in the real world and an event you vividly imagine inside your mind. Your body reacts, your emotions react, your beliefs react, your identity reacts. Your brain treats imagination as experience. And when you finally understand that, you unlock a level of inner power that most people never learn to control. Today, I'm going to show you how this works. And once you understand it, your entire life will never look the same. Let me show you something unbelievable. Researchers once separated volunteers into two groups. One group practiced playing piano melodies using their hands. The other group practiced only in their mind, imagining the movements, the rhythm, the sound, the keys. They never touched a piano. But when scientists scanned their brains, the results were almost identical. Both groups grew the same neural pathways, both showed the same brain activity, both improved as if they had practiced physically. Your brain doesn't learn from reality. It learns from repetition, it learns from emotion, it learns from imagery, it learns from imagination. The single fact that explains why visualization works, why fear works, why confidence works, why anxiety appears out of nowhere, why your identity feels so real, even though it's a program built inside your mind. The 10-second proof inside your body. Let's test something together. Just imagine this. You're stepping onto a glass floor on the top of a skyscraper. You look down, your stomach drops, your legs feel lighter, your breath changes. But you are completely safe. Nothing is happening. You are not in danger. You are not even moving. Your brain reacted to imagination, not reality. You just proved it to yourself. This is the mechanism behind fear, courage, confidence, self-doubt, motivation, performance, anxiety, and identity. Your brain doesn't care if something is true. It cares if something is vivid. Whatever you imagine with emotion becomes real to your nervous system. The real reason you feel stuck. Most people don't realize this, but you have been visualizing your whole life. Every time you imagine something going wrong, your brain believes it. Every time you replay a painful memory, your body relives it. Every time you picture yourself failing, your nervous system prepares for defeat. Visualization is not something you start doing. It's something you have always done. The question is, have you been using it against yourself or for yourself? Because once you use it intentionally, everything in your life accelerates. Your confidence, your inner calm, your performance, your self-belief, your identity, your future. What we are doing today. Today, you're going to learn how to take control of a mechanism that has been controlling you your entire life. You're going to understand how your brain responds to imagined experience, how this shapes your identity, and how you can use it to become the person you know you can be. But before we continue, tell me in the comments, have you ever imagined something so clearly that your body reacted instantly? I want to hear your story. Leave a comment, okay? Now, the science of imagination, explained simply. Most people think imagination is just a mental picture, but your brain treats imagination as an experience. Here's why. Your brain has a network called default mode network. The part that lights up when you visualize, remember, dream, or imagine possibilities. What's wild is that this same network overlaps with the systems that shape your identity, your self-esteem, your emotional reactions, your beliefs, and your habits. So when you imagine something vividly, your brain fires the same circuits, activates the same pathways, releases the same chemicals, and trains the same emotional responses as if the event was happening right now. To your brain, imagination is rehearsal. Imagination is programming. Imagination is identity training. This is why visualization works so well for overcoming fear, building confidence, rewiring memories, creating new habits, and changing your self-image. Your brain listens to whatever you repeatedly imagine. It doesn't distinguish between real and mental. It only asks, is this happening inside us right now? And then it adapts. The secret mechanism behind your emotions. Let me give you an even simpler explanation. Your emotions don't come from events. They come from your interpretation of events. And interpretation lives in your imagination. This is why the same moment can feel different to two people, and why two people can live the same experience but store completely different memories. Emotion is created internally. Your imagination determines what something means, how you feel about it, and how it shapes your identity. Fear is imagination, shame is imagination, confidence is imagination, self-belief is imagination. Everything begins inside. Once you understand this, you stop being a victim of your past and you start becoming the designer of your future. Now, why people struggle? The external world trap. Here's the truth nobody wants to admit. Most people try to change their lives by only changing the external world. They try to change their habits without changing their self-image. They try to build confidence without changing the beliefs behind it. They try to find success without believing they deserve it. They try to heal without changing the way they imagine their past. They try to improve without changing the inner story that shapes everything. But internal problems cannot be solved with external solutions. The inner world must shift before the outer world can reflect it. This is why some people work hard but stay stuck. Their mind hasn't changed. Their identity hasn't changed. Their internal imagery hasn't changed. And as long as your mind holds the same pictures, you will live the same life. Now, the moment your imagination shaped your reality, let me ask you something powerful. Think of a time when you wanted to do something important, but your imagination stopped you. Maybe you pictured yourself failing. Maybe you imagined being judged. Maybe you saw the worst-case scenario. Maybe you replayed an embarrassing memory. Maybe you visualized something going wrong, and instantly your body reacted. Your chest got tight, your breath changed, your confidence dropped, your mind froze. That wasn't reality stopping you. That was your imagination. And if imagination can stop you, it can also push you, grow you, empower you, strengthen you, transform you, rebuild you. Once you learn to control the inner movie, you control the whole theater. Why this is good news for you? Most people hear this and feel overwhelmed. I have been using my imagination wrong my whole life. I have created a negative identity. I have believed the wrong things. I have been training myself to fail. But let me show you the empowering side. If imagination shaped your past, you can use imagination to reshape your future. If imagination created your fears, you can use imagination to create confidence. If imagination reinforced limiting beliefs, you can use imagination to build empowering ones. You were never broken. Your mind was simply untrained. But from today forward, you're learning to use it on purpose. What's coming next? In the next section, you will learn how imagination rewires identity, how it changes memories, how it dissolves fear, how it builds confidence, and how to use this power to become the person you know you can be. Tell me in the comments, what moment in your life proved to you that imagination is powerful? And now let's continue. How imagination creates your identity. This is a big one, okay? Your identity is not who you are. It's who your mind learned to be. You weren't born shy. Come on, you weren't born insecure. You weren't born afraid. You weren't born thinking you are not enough. You imagined yourself that way. before you had the language to understand it. Identity comes from the stories your mind repeats. When you picture yourself as confident, your brain strengthens confidence circuits. When you picture yourself as weak, your brain strengthens insecurity circuits. When you imagine you are capable, your brain upgrades your behavior. When you imagine you are not worthy, your brain limits your actions. Your identity is simply the collection of images and emotions your mind has rehearsed the most. This means you're not stuck, you're not fixed, you are not defined by your past. Identity is fluid, identity is programmable, identity is trainable, and imagination is the training tool. Now, the loop that shapes your life. Every person lives inside a loop that looks like this. You imagine something, your brain reacts, your emotions change, your behavior shifts, your results follow, your identity strengthens, and your imagination repeats the same story. And that loop decides how confident you are, how you think, how you feel, how you behave, what you believe you deserve, and what your life becomes. Most people are trapped in a loop created in a childhood. They are living today with an identity they did not choose. Think about it. It's crazy. But once you take control of the first step, your imagination, the entire loop rewrites itself. You start feeling different, you start acting different, you start believing different, you start becoming someone new. This is how real transformation happens. Not from discipline, not from motivation, not from forcing change, but from changing the internal images that your brain thinks are real. The power of a single repeated image. Let me give you something incredibly simple. Imagine a child who was told they're not good enough. Maybe once, maybe twice, maybe many times. Those words are gone, but the image stayed. The image of themselves failing. The image of themselves being rejected. The image of themselves not being enough. That child grows up, but the image grows with them. Now imagine something different. What if the same child imagined themselves succeeding? Imagine themselves strong. Imagine themselves capable. Imagine themselves worthy. One repeated image would shape their entire identity. This is why visualization is so powerful. It's not about fantasy, it's about repetition. A single repeated image can become your personality. A single repeated image can become your confidence. A single repeated image can become your new future. Now, the real source of fear and why it's good news. Fear doesn't come from events. It comes from imagined consequences. Your brain previews danger before it happens. This is why you can feel fear without anything threatening you. But this mechanism is not your enemy. It was designed to protect you. And once you understand it, you can flip it. The same system that creates fear can create courage. The same system that produces anxiety can produce calmness. The same system that projects failure can project success. Your brain is not against you. It's waiting for direction. When you change the images, you change the emotion. When you change the emotion, you change the behavior. When you change the behavior, you change the results. And when results change, identity changes with them. Now, why visualization fails for most people? Most people try visualization once or twice and say it didn't work. But here's the truth. Visualization isn't magic. It's neural conditioning. It works exactly like physical exercise. If you go to the gym twice and expect to be in the best shape of your life, you will quit out of disappointment. Visualization works the same way. Repetition is everything. Emotion is everything. Vividness is everything. Consistency is everything. If you do it once, it changes your state. If you do it daily, it changes your identity. And identity is what creates your life. Now, the good news most people never hear. You don't need talent to change your mind. You don't need intelligence. You don't need experience. You only need the willingness to imagine the new version of yourself long enough for your brain to accept it as true. Once your brain believes something, your behavior follows automatically. Confidence stops being something you try to feel. It becomes your default state. The calmness stops being something you force. it becomes natural. Self-worth stops being something you fight for, it becomes who you are. You don't perform your way into a new identity. You imagine your way into it, and then the rest aligns. Now, how your brain rewrites memories. Most people don't know this, but your memories are not records of the past. They are recreations. Every time you recall a memory, your brain rebuilds it in real time. And during that reconstruction, the emotional meaning can change. This is called memory reconsolidation. It means the pain you carry doesn't come from the event itself. It comes from the emotional story your mind attached to it. And stories can be rewritten. This is why some people heal from trauma, why some people dissolve shame, why some people eliminate guilt, why some people completely change how they see themselves. They didn't erase the memory. They rewired the emotional meaning behind it. Your imagination has the power to change what a memory represents inside you. And when the meaning changes, the identity changes with it. Now, the memory that shaped you and why it can be released. Everyone has at least one memory that shaped who they became. A moment where you felt embarrassed, a mistake you couldn't forgive yourself for, a time you were rejected, a moment someone made you feel small, an experience that left you feeling not enough, a comment that broke your confidence, a situation that created fear inside you. But memory isn't the problem, it's the interpretation. Because if the same event happened to 10 people, each of them would store a different emotional meaning. This proves something important. The memory is not your identity. The meaning you gave it is, and meaning can be changed. It's a big news. Now, the unspoken truth about emotional pain. Your emotional pain is not permanent. It's not destiny. It's not something you are stuck with forever. It is a memory your brain keeps rehearsing. And if it's still happening today, it's imagination replaying the past instead of creating a new future. But here's the good news. The moment you imagine a different meaning, a different ending, a different interpretation, your brain stores it as the new emotional reality. You don't change the past. You change your relationship to it. And that changes everything. Now, the breakthrough most people never experience. Imagine this for a moment. You go back to a painful memory, not to relive it, but to rewrite it with compassion, strength, maturity, and understanding. You see your younger self through new eyes. You give them what they never received: support, love, protection, perspective. And suddenly, the memory loses its power. The guilt weakens, the shame dissolves, the fear softens, the self-judgment fades, the emotional weight lifts. This isn't fantasy. This isn't pretend. This is your brain updating the emotional code. When the code changes, the identity changes. And when the identity changes, your entire life opens. Now, the difference between healing and rehearsing pain. Most people rehearse their pain. They replay the same story. They repeat the same images. They relive the same emotions. And the brain reinforces it. But healing is simply rehearsing a new meaning until it becomes stronger than the old one. Your brain doesn't store events. It stores interpretations. And because interpretation is imagination, you can change it. This means you're not trapped in who you became. You can become who you choose to be, starting today. The most important realization you will ever have. You are not the memories that hurt you. You are not the moments where you felt weak. You are not the version of you that didn't understand life yet. You are not the identity shaped by fear or confusion. You are the one imagining it all. And if you can imagine a painful past, you can imagine a powerful future. If you can imagine it being small, you can imagine being unstoppable. If you can imagine being unworthy, you can imagine being confident. Your mind is always imagining. Now you are learning to direct it. This is how people rebuild their identity, their confidence, their entire life. Now, important thing to understand, the inner world always wins. Every result you achieve in life comes from one place, Your inner world. Not your environment, not your resources, not your circumstances, not your background. Your internal images decide your external outcomes. The person who sees themselves as confident acts confidently. The person who sees themselves as capable takes action. The person who sees themselves as worthy accepts opportunities. The person who sees themselves as powerful faces challenges differently. Meanwhile, the person who sees themselves as broken stops before we start. The person who imagines failure never fully commits. The person who rehearses fear feels danger where none exists. The person who imagines being judged won't express their truth. The person who visualizes rejection avoids connection. The inner world creates the outer world. Once you understand this, you stop fighting your life and start upgrading your mind. Now, the danger of accidental visualization. Here's something most people never realize. You are visualizing all day without knowing it. Every time you picture something going wrong, you are visualizing. Every time you replay a painful memory, you're visualizing. Every time you imagine a future where you fail, you're visualizing. Every time you expect disappointment, you're visualizing. Every time you see yourself as not enough, you're visualizing. And the brain follows whatever you repeatedly imagine. This is why some people feel stuck for years. Not because they are broken, but because they have been training the wrong images without realizing it. Visualization is not optional, it's automatic. The only question is this: are you doing it unconsciously or intentionally? Now, the shift from unconscious reaction to conscious creation. Once you learn to visualize intentionally, you stop living in a mental default setting. You stop reacting to old stories and begin creating new ones. You stop being shaped by your past and start shaping your future. This is why people who master visualization feel like they became a different person, because they did. Their brain updated their identity, their nervous system updated its patterns, their emotional center updated its reactions, their self-image updated its possibilities. And once your identity changes, your actions become inevitable. You don't try to be confident, you just are. You don't force motivation, it happens naturally. You don't push discipline, your identity pulls you forward. This is the difference between forcing change and becoming change. Now, why some images change your life instantly? Certain images have more power than others. Here's why. Your brain prioritizes vividness, emotion, and repetition. So when you imagine something that feels real, your brain tags it as important. This is why a single visualization can shift your emotional state in seconds. And when you repeat a powerful visualization daily, consistently, and with emotion, your brain begins treating it as your identity. This is why elite athletes swear by visualization. This is why top performers use mental rehearsal. This is why the best in the world train their imagination as aggressively as their skills. They know something most people don't. If you want to outperform your past, you must first out-imagine it. Let's repeat it again, it's very important. If you want to outperform your past, you must first out-imagine it. Now, the identity you're practicing right now. Let me ask you something. If your mind became a mirror right now, what identity would it reflect? Would it show someone confident or someone cautious? Someone worthy or someone doubting themselves? Someone powerful or someone holding back? Someone growing or someone surviving? Someone becoming or someone shrinking? The identity you practice is the identity you become. And most people don't even know what they are rehearsing daily. But you are different. You are becoming aware. You are becoming conscious. You are waking up to the power you have had this whole time. And awareness is the beginning of change. Now, what's coming next? In the next part, we are going to go even deeper. You will learn how to use visualization to rewire fear, how to dissolve insecurity at the source, how to transform self-doubt into self-belief, and how to reconstruct the identity you want to live with. This is the part where everything clicks. Tell me in the comments, what identity do you want to train from today forward? And let's move on to the next section. How visualization dissolves fear at the root. Fear is not a signal from reality. Fear is a signal from imagination. Your brain is constantly predicting the future, and fear appears when your brain imagines a future it believes you can't handle. But here's the breakthrough. If fear comes from imagination, then courage can come from imagination too. You don't need confidence to visualize confidence. You don't need success to visualize success. You don't need certainty to visualize certainty. Your brain reacts to the image, not the truth. This means you can rehearse courage, you can rehearse strength, you can rehearse calmness, you can rehearse confidence, you can rehearse success, you can rehearse ease, you can rehearse power. And once your brain experiences it enough times, fear loses its authority over you. Fear doesn't disappear, it becomes irrelevant. Now the secret. Fear can't survive when the brain feels prepared. Your brain feels fear when it believes you are unprepared. Visualization gives the brain preparation without real-world risk. When you visualize walking into a room confidently, having a difficult conversation, performing under pressure, speaking your truth, showing strength, choosing courage, your brain begins to believe, I know how to handle this. That belief alone reduces fear more than anything, because your brain doesn't fear the situation. It fears your imagined inability to handle it. Visualization updates that belief. You become someone who can handle it, and fear no longer makes the decisions for you. How visualization builds instant self-belief. Self-belief is not a personality trait. It's a practiced identity. You don't become confident because life gives you reasons to be confident. You become confident because your mind gets used to seeing you as confident. Visualization gives your brain the opportunity to experience success before you have it in real life. Think about that for a moment. You can give your brain future evidence in advance. Once your mind sees it enough times, it doesn't wait for physical proof. It believes it now. This is why most people never build self-belief. They wait for success to give it to them. But the truth is the opposite. Self-belief creates success. Visualization creates self-belief. Now, the fastest way to change your emotional reactions. Your emotional reactions are habits. You weren't born doubting yourself. You weren't born freezing under pressure. You weren't born overthinking. You weren't born avoiding challenges. These were learned responses, rehearsed through repeated mental imagery. Visualization allows you to rehearse new responses. Imagine this. Instead of imagining worst-case scenarios, you start imagining best-case scenarios. Instead of imagining rejection, you imagine connection. Instead of imagining failure, you imagine capability. Instead of imagining embarrassment, you imagine composure. Instead of imagining judgment, you imagine strength. If you rehearse these images daily, your emotional reactions begin to shift automatically. You don't fight your responses, you upgrade them. Now, the brain does not argue with experience. Here is something crucial. Your brain does not argue with experience, real or imagined. If a visualization feels real, your brain accepts it as truth. This is why elite performers use mental rehearsal before every major moment. This is why your nervous system calms when you imagine safety. This is why your confidence rises when you imagine winning. This is why your anxiety drops when you imagine yourself capable. Your brain doesn't ask, is this true? Your brain asks, did we experience this? And visualization gives you those experiences without consequences, without danger, without pressure. You give your brain the future in advance, and the brain responds as if you have already lived it. So the identity shift begins here. This is the moment in the video where something clicks for people. Because now you see your identity is not fixed. Your emotional patterns are not fixed. Your fears are not fixed. Your beliefs are not fixed. Your confidence is not fixed. They are learned, which means they can be unlearned and relearned and rebuilt. Visualization is not wishful thinking. It is identity training. It is neural conditioning. It is emotional reprogramming. It is psychological upgrading. And you are about to learn how to use it with precision, with intention, and with power. So what's coming next? In the next part, I'm going to show you the exact process you can use to start rewiring your identity through visualization. Step by step, simple, practical, life-changing. So tell me in the comments right now, what fear do you want to dissolve using this method? Let's move on to the next section. So the 4-step method to rewire your identity through visualization. Now that you understand how powerful imagination is, let me give you a method that can change your life if you practice it consistently. This is the same structure used by elite athletes, high performers, therapists, and anyone who wants to upgrade their mind. It has 4 steps. First step, relax the body. Second step, access the subconscious. Third step, visualize the identity you want. And fourth step, feel the emotions of the future now. Let's break each one down in simple language. Step 1, relax the body. Your mind cannot upgrade when your body is tense. When you relax your breath, relax your shoulders, relax your face, relax your jaw, your brain enters a more receptive state. When your body softens, your brain listens. This step tells your mind it's safe to change. Step number 2, access the subconscious. Your subconscious is not some mystical thing. It's simply the part of your brain that runs your automatic patterns. The fastest way to access it is through a calm, slow breathing rhythm. When your breath slows down, your brain waves shift, your inner resistance lowers, your emotional memory becomes accessible, your identity becomes flexible. This is the perfect moment to introduce new mental images. Step number 3, visualize the identity you want to become. Most people visualize goals. Goals are helpful, but identity is far more powerful because you don't get what you want, you get what you are. This is big, I will repeat it. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. So instead of visualizing an outcome, you visualize the version of you that creates that outcome. Visualize how they stand, how they walk, how they speak, how they breathe, how they solve problems, how they handle pressure, how they treat themselves, how they show up in the world. Don't try to be perfect. Just imagine a version of you that is stronger, calmer, more confident, more capable, more aligned. Your brain accepts identity more easily than goals because identity feels familiar. It feels natural. It feels like home. Step number 4, feel the emotions of your future now. This is the most important step. Visualization without emotion is just daydreaming. But visualization with emotion becomes programming. Your brain changes when emotion is present. So when you picture the future you, let your body feel confidence, calmness, self-belief, clarity, strength, worthiness, alignment. You don't need to force emotion. Just let yourself feel even 1% of what the future version feels, because emotion tells the brain, this is real. The stronger the emotion, the faster the transformation. Now, putting it all together, when you combine these 4 steps, relaxation, subconscious access, identity visualization, emotional rehearsal, you create a powerful neurological loop. After enough repetitions, your brain begins to adopt the identity you have been imagining. This is how you become someone new, not through force, not through discipline, not through pushing, but through upgrading your inner self-image. Your identity begins to update, your emotional reactions begin to shift, your decision-making becomes different, your behavior upgrades naturally, your results follow effortlessly. This is how real change happens. The shift is beginning inside you right now. As you listen to this, Your mind is already adapting. You are becoming aware of patterns you never saw before. You are gaining control over a mechanism that shaped your life for years. You are beginning to realize your future is not something you wait for. Your future is something you rehearse. And rehearsal starts now. What's coming next? In the next section, I'm going to guide you through a practical identity visualization that you can use today to begin rewiring your mind. Simple, powerful, life-changing. Tell me in the comments, what identity do you want to start rehearsing? And let's move on to the next section. Preparing for identity visualization. Before I guide you through the actual process, I want to prepare your mind in the right way. Visualization works best when your brain feels safe, open, and receptive. You don't need to close your eyes right now. You don't need silence. You don't need perfection. You just need a moment of presence, okay? A moment where you allow yourself to step out of your old patterns and step into a possibility you have forgotten to imagine. Because identity doesn't change when life gets easier. Identity changes when the mind becomes willing. So right now, I want you to give yourself permission to evolve, to shift, to grow, to let go, to become, not through force, through intention. Why identity visualization works so quickly? The reason identity visualization works so fast is because your brain responds instantly to who you believe you are. Your current identity is just a collection of images you have repeated, memories you have rehearsed, stories you have accepted, labels you have believed, and emotions you have attached to those images. But none of that is permanent. The brain updates identity the moment it sees a more powerful version of you, with enough clarity and emotion. This is why I'm not just teaching you visualization, I'm teaching you identity rehearsal. Identity rehearsal is stronger than affirmations, stronger than motivation, stronger than discipline. Because when identity shifts, your behavior follows automatically. You don't need to try to be confident. You become someone who simply is. You don't need to force discipline. It becomes your natural expression. You don't need to battle fear. It loses its position in your internal hierarchy. Identity chooses for you. Now, what your future self already knows. There is a version of you that already knows how to live without fear. A version that already feels worthy, a version that already trusts themselves, a version that already moves with certainty, a version that already knows how to succeed, a version that already understands your potential. This isn't fantasy. This is psychology. Your brain contains countless potential identities you have not activated yet. When you visualize your future self, you are not inventing someone new. You are activating someone that already exists inside your neural possibilities. Your job is not to struggle your way into becoming them. Your job is to give your brain the mental experience of being them. The brain will handle the rest. Now, the number one reason your old self feels real. You may wonder, if identity can change so fast, why does my old identity feel so real? Because you have rehearsed it longer. Your brain believes what it sees the most. You have imagined your limitations more times than you have imagined your potential. You have rehearsed your fears more than your strengths. You have practiced self-doubt more than self-belief. You have replayed old painful memories more than empowering ones. Your old identity isn't real, it's familiar. And familiar is powerful, but not more powerful than the identity you choose from this moment forward. Now, what you need to let go of before we begin. Before we do the guided visualization, I want you to release 3 things. Number 1, the idea that change must be hard. Identity shifts the moment your brain believes something new. Number 2, the idea that you are limited by your past. Your past only survives if your imagination keeps feeding it. Number 3, the idea that you need to fix yourself. You are not broken, you are upgrading. If you can let go of these 3 beliefs, even just a little, your visualization will be 10 times more powerful. Now, the moment of transformation starts now. So let's go. This next part of the video will not be passive. You are not just listening, you are participating, you are changing, you are stepping into a version of you that you have been waiting for. In the next section, I will guide you through a simple, powerful visualization designed to initiate an identity shift inside you. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. Tell me in the comments, what is one thing your future self would never struggle with? Okay, and now let's move on. The guided identity visualization begins. Before we start, I want you to understand something important. You don't have to try hard. You don't have to visualize perfectly. You don't have to force anything. Your mind already knows how to imagine. You have been doing it your whole life. All you need to do is follow my voice and let your mind do what it naturally does. Let's begin. Step number 1, relax the body. Gentle reset. Just take one slow breath in and let it fall out of your body. Feel your shoulders soften. Feel your chest loosen. Feel your jaw ease. Feel your hands unclench. Feel your stomach relax. You don't need to sit perfectly. You don't need to be in silence. You don't need a special environment. Just let yourself soften, even 5% more than you are right now. Your body is not just relaxing, it is signaling safety to your mind. And when the mind feels safe, it becomes open to change. Now, step number 2, shift into the subconscious state. Now bring your attention gently to the rhythm of your breath. Not to control it, just to observe it. Feel the air entering your nose. Feel your chest rising. Feel your body lowering as you exhale. Let your breath slow down naturally. Let your thoughts pass without chasing them. Let your awareness shift inward. With every breath, your inner world becomes more accessible. Your subconscious begins listening. Your identity becomes flexible. Your emotional patterns soften. This is the doorway into the deeper part of your mind. Step number 3, meet your future self, the identity mirror. Now imagine this. You are standing at the beginning of a long, quiet hallway. At the far end of the hallway is a door. And behind that door is the version of you that you want to become. The confident you, the capable you, the calm you, the powerful you, the worthy you, the aligned you, the future you. You don't need to know exactly what they look like yet. Just know they are there, waiting for you, ready to meet you, ready to show you who you can become. As you imagine this door, notice something. Your body feels slightly different. Your breath deepens. Your chest feels lighter. Your mind becomes curious. This is your brain preparing for a new identity. Step number 4, walk toward your possibilities. Now imagine yourself slowly walking down that hallway. Not rushing, not forcing, just naturally. Feel the floor beneath your feet. Feel your posture straighten. Feel your shoulders open. Feel your breathing calm. With every step, you feel 1 degree more confident, 1 degree more centered, 1 degree more grounded, 1 degree more aligned. You are not walking toward someone else. You're walking toward a version of you that has always existed inside you. Your brain is beginning to recognize this new identity as possible. Now, step number 5. Stand before the door of your future. Now you are standing right in front of the door. You can feel something on the other side. Strength, clarity, confidence, self-belief, calmness, courage, power. Your future self is right there. Their energy is different. Their presence is different. Their mindset is different. And in a moment, you are going to meet them. But before we open that door, I want you to ask yourself a question. What am I ready to stop believing about myself? You don't need the perfect answer. You just need honesty. Whatever comes up, allow it. This honesty creates space for your new identity to enter. Now the door is about to open. In the next section, you will meet your future self face to face. This is where the transformation accelerates. This is where the identity shift begins. This is where your brain starts rewriting who you believe you are. So tell me in the comments, what do you feel standing in front of that door? Let's move on to the next part. The door to your future self opens. Now imagine your hand reaching for the door handle. You feel a small shift inside your chest, a mix of anticipation and calmness. You breathe in gently, and as you exhale, you open the door. The space in front of you fills with light, soft, warm, safe. And standing there is the future version of you. Not perfect, not unrealistic, not superhuman. Just the you who has grown, the you who has healed, the you who has let go, the you who has stepped into their potential, the you who believes in themselves, the you who knows who they are, the you who moves through the world with certainty, clarity, presence, and strength. Take a moment to really see them. Notice their posture. Notice the way they breathe. Notice the calmness in their eyes. Notice the confidence in the way they stand. Notice the grounded, powerful energy they carry with ease. This is you, but upgraded, aligned, unrestricted. Let yourself feel that truth. Now imagine this future version of you taking a few steps closer. They're looking directly into your eyes. Not with judgment, not with disappointment, not with pressure, with understanding, with compassion, with knowing. Because they remember everything you have been through, every struggle, every fear, every doubt, every moment you questioned yourself, every moment you had to push through the dark without knowing if things would get better. They know your journey because they lived it. They know your pain because they healed it. They know your fears because they overcame them. And they are here now because you called them. Now imagine the future you standing right in front of you, close enough that you can sense their presence, as if it's blending with yours. You are face to face with your potential, your power, your truth. And the future you gently says, I know who you really are. I know what you are capable of. And I'm here to guide you into becoming me. Feel those words, not in your mind, in your body. This is not imagination. This is identity activation. Now take a moment to observe What is different about them? Is it the way they stand, the way they breathe, the way they look around, the calmness in their chest, the confidence in their presence, the clarity in their eyes, the softness in their face, the certainty in their energy? Let your brain register the difference. You're not comparing, you're observing. You're giving your mind a blueprint, a model, a reference point. Your brain needs references to build new patterns. You just gave it one of the most powerful references possible. Now imagine the future you smiling. Not a big smile, a knowing smile. A smile that says, you are closer to becoming me than you think. They see potential in you that you haven't fully recognized. They see strengths in you that you haven't fully owned. They see qualities in you that you haven't fully claimed. This smile is a message. You are ready. You are capable. You are worthy. You are stronger than you realize. You are further ahead than you think. You are not behind. You are becoming. Now imagine them gently raising a hand and placing it on your shoulder. It feels grounding, reassuring, supportive. And they say to you, stop believing the old story. You are not who your past says you are. You are who you decide to become. You are already stepping into me. Let that sink in. Let your chest absorb it. Let your breath respond to it. Let your identity soften toward it. Because these words are not a compliment. They are a truth your mind is remembering. Okay, now what comes next? In the next part, your future self will give you a message that can shift your identity instantly. And then they will offer you something that will become one of the most powerful anchors in your transformation. Tell me in the comments, what do you imagine your future self looks like? Okay, and now let's move on to the next part. The first identity message from your future self. Now imagine your future self looking directly into your eyes with a steady, grounded confidence. There is no judgment in their face, only truth, only clarity, only understanding. And they say, you have carried beliefs about yourself that were never yours to carry. Beliefs born from fear, from misunderstanding, from one moment in your past that you never got the chance to reinterpret. They pause, letting you absorb the words. Then they continue. But those beliefs don't belong to you anymore. They belong to a version of you that didn't know what you know now and didn't have the strength you have today. Feel that. This is not a lecture, it's recognition. Your future self sees what you have outgrown even before you fully realize it. Now, your future self steps one small step closer. You can almost feel their breath, their presence, their calmness. They speak again, slowly, intentionally. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not late. You are not weak. You are not defined by your past. You are not the memories that hurt you. You are not your old identity. They let those truths sink into your chest like warm light. Then they say the part that will anchor inside your mind. You are becoming me, and I already know you can. This is the moment your brain begins accepting a new identity. Not because you forced it, but because you felt it. Now your future self gently raises their hand and places it over your heart. You feel warmth, stability, strength. They say, the only thing keeping you from becoming me is the story you repeat in your mind. They pause. But stories can be rewritten, beliefs can be updated, memories can be reinterpreted. and identities can be rebuilt. Then they add, you don't become me by trying harder. You become me by imagining differently. Your breath deepens. Your body softens. Your mind opens. This is identity conditioning happening in real time. Now imagine your future self describing you the way someone who loves you would describe you. They say, you are capable of more than you allow yourself to believe. You are stronger than you give yourself credit for. You have gifts you haven't even fully recognized. You have resilience you learned the hard way. You have wisdom earned through every difficult moment. You have potential waiting to be activated. Your future self sees you without the filters you have been using. They see the truth of who you are. Now your future self takes a slow breath and says something that will stay with you. Every time you feel doubt, I want you to remember this moment. Every time you feel fear, I want you to remember who you are becoming. Every time your mind tries to go backward, I want you to return to me. They look at you with complete certainty. You are not alone in this transformation. I am guiding you because I am you, just further ahead. Let that sink into your heart, your mind, your identity. Now what comes next? In the next section, your future self will reveal the exact qualities you need to embody to become them. And then they will give you something symbolic that you will carry with you beyond this visualization. Now tell me in the comments, what did your future self say to you in this moment? Now imagine your future self gently stepping back, just enough for you to see them clearly. Their posture, their energy, their strength, their presence. They raise a hand as if they are about to reveal something important. And they say, there are qualities within you that you have only expressed in small moments, but I live with them fully. And once you embrace these qualities, you will become me faster than you think. Then they begin listing them, slowly, intentionally, so your mind absorbs each one. Quality number 1, calm power. You no longer react from fear. You respond from clarity. You breathe before you speak. You move with intention, not urgency. Your future self continues. When you live with calm power, nothing pulls you out of alignment. Quality number 2, quiet confidence. You don't need to prove yourself. You don't need validation. You don't chase approval. You trust your decisions. You trust your abilities. You trust your path. Quiet confidence doesn't shout, it leads. Quality number 3, emotional neutrality. You no longer let old emotions shape new decisions. Your future self adds, you don't suppress your emotions. You understand them. You listen to them. And then you choose your response from a place of strength, not survival. This quality alone rewires your entire life. Quality number 4, unbreakable self-worth. You stop negotiating your value. You stop apologizing for who you are. You stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. Your future self says, you understand your worth because you feel it, not because the world gives it to you. This is identity level transformation. Quality number 5, fearless alignment. You don't force yourself into environments that drain you. You walk away when something isn't right. You choose what supports your growth. You follow what feels aligned. Your future self explains, when you live in alignment, your life stops feeling like resistance and starts feeling like momentum. Quality number 6, self-trust. You trust your inner signals. You trust your intuition. You trust your ability to adapt. You trust yourself even in uncertainty. Self-trust is the foundation of every strong identity. Quality number 7, consistent inner rehearsal. You rehearse who you want to become more often than who you used to be. your future self concludes. This is the key that accelerates everything, because identity is not created once. Identity is rehearsed. Now imagine your future self placing their hand over their heart and then extending that same hand to you, as if offering you a symbolic blueprint. They say, these qualities are already inside you. You have simply forgotten them. Take them, use them, live them, rehearse them, become them. As their hand reaches you, you feel a subtle shift, like a warmth, a grounding, a soft surge of clarity. Your brain is absorbing the blueprint of your future identity. This is neural imprinting in real time. Now, what comes next? In the next section, your future self will give you a symbolic object, a mental anchor that will stay with you long after this visualization ends. And before that, tell me in the comments, which quality did you feel the strongest? Let's continue. Your future self now reaches into a small box on a table beside them. The box is simple. No decoration, no excessive detail, just a clean, meaningful presence. They open it slowly, and inside is a single object. The object is symbolic, personal, meaningful, a representation of your new identity. It could be a key, a stone, a ring, a small light, a coin, a feather, a crystal, a pendant, medallion. Your imagination will choose the right one for you. Whatever object appears in your mind, that is the one you were meant to receive. Your future self picks it up, holds it for a moment, and then extends it toward you. Your future self says, this is your anchor. It represents the identity you are stepping into. Whenever you feel doubt, whenever you feel fear, whenever you feel unsure, hold this in your mind. They continue. It contains the qualities I showed you: calm power, quiet confidence, self-trust, alignment, worthiness, emotional stability, inner strength. As they speak, your object seems to glow, just slightly brighter. This is your brain forming a symbolic association. Symbols are powerful because they compress entire identities into one image. Your mind will use the symbol to access your new self faster. Now imagine your future self placing this symbolic object into your hand. Feel the weight, feel the temperature, feel the texture. Hold it gently. This object is not just a symbol, it is a shortcut, a neurological anchor that your brain will use to reconnect you to your future identity in moments when the old patterns try to pull you back. Your future self says, whenever you hold this in your mind, you activate the version of yourself you are becoming. Let that sink in. This is identity programming. Now, your future self continues. This symbol reminds you that the past has no power unless you feed it with imagination. This symbol reminds you that confidence is a rehearsed emotion. This symbol reminds you that fear loses its authority when you prepare your mind. This symbol reminds you that you are worthy now, not someday. This symbol reminds you that you are becoming me. You feel those words in your chest more than in your mind. Your identity is shifting because your imagination is rewriting itself. Now take a slow breath and imagine yourself gently closing your hand around the object. This is your moment of acceptance, your moment of commitment, your moment of stepping into who you choose to be. Your future self watches you with calm pride. They don't say anything. They don't need to. Your decision speaks louder than words. Now, what comes next? In the next section, your future self will give you one final message, the kind that stays with you for years, before you return to the present moment with a new identity forming inside you. Before that, Tell me in the comments, what object did your mind choose? Now let's continue. The final message from your future self. Your future self takes one small step closer, close enough that you can feel their presence, as if it's merging with your own. Their expression is calm, steady, gentle, and deeply confident. They look at you with the kind of clarity that only someone who has lived your future can have. And they say, you have spent years believing a version of yourself that was built on misunderstandings, fear, old memories, and moments you outgrew long ago. They pause. But none of that is who you truly are. Your future self continues. You were never broken. You were never behind. You were never unworthy. You were never defined by your past. Their voice is soft, but every word carries authority. You were simply imagining yourself as smaller than you are. Let those words settle. Feel them rearranging something inside you. Then your future self adds, but the moment you imagine a new self, your past loses its power. Now, your future self studies you for a moment. Not with judgment, but with admiration. They say, you have strength you haven't expressed yet. You have potential you haven't unlocked. You have courage you haven't accessed. You have talents you haven't used fully. You have resilience you don't give yourself credit for. Then they lean in slightly and say, and I know this because I became who you are trying to become. This is identity reflection. Your mind is absorbing it as if it's coming from your own inner voice. Now, your future self reaches out and places their hand gently over your symbolic object in your hand. They say, every time you choose alignment over fear, you become me. Every time you choose self-respect over doubt, you become me. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you become me. Every time you choose truth over insecurity, you become me. Your future self does not ask you to be perfect. They ask you to practice. Identity is practice. Now your future self takes a small breath and then says something that will anchor inside you for years. You are ready. Not someday, not when you fix everything, not when life becomes perfect, not when you feel fully confident. You are ready now. Feel that truth in your chest, not as motivation, as recognition. Your brain is absorbing the new identity like a blueprint. Now imagine your future self slowly taking a step back. They're not leaving you, they're integrating into you. Their energy remains, their presence remains, their guidance remains, because they were never separate from you. They were always the version you were growing toward. Your future self gives you one last look, a calm, grounded, confident look, and says, I'm with you every time you imagine me. Then the light around them softens, and the visualization begins to fade into a gentle, calming glow. Now what comes next? In the next part, you will return to the present moment, but you will not return as the version of yourself. Before that, tell me in the comments, what was the most powerful thing your future self said to you? Now let's continue, returning to the present moment with a new identity. Now imagine the light around your future self slowly dissolving into the space around you. Not disappearing, transforming, becoming part of you, becoming part of your breath, part of your posture, part of your presence, part of your inner world. You feel the hallway around you fade, but the strength remains, the clarity remains, the calmness remains, the identity remains, because you are not leaving the visualization. You are taking it with you. You're carrying the blueprint, you're carrying the qualities, you're carrying the symbolic object, you are carrying the message, you're carrying the upgraded version of you that your mind just met. Let yourself feel that for a moment. Now imagine yourself gently opening your hand again. See the symbolic object glowing softly, not with intensity, but with stability. A quiet reminder of who you are becoming. Hold it in your mind for one more breath. As you inhale, feel your future self's energy integrating into you. As you inhale, feel your future self's energy integrating into you. As you exhale, feel your old identity loosening its grip. One identity rises, the other dissolves. Not through force, through evolution. Your mind is rewiring. Your emotional patterns are updating. Your self-image is shifting. This is identity recalibration. Now begin to notice your physical body again. Feel the weight of your hands. Feel the temperature of the room. Feel the support of a chair beneath you. Feel your breath moving in and out of your chest. You are returning to the present moment, but you are not returning as the same person. Something inside you has changed. Something inside you has elevated. Something inside you has awakened. Your mind is beginning to see yourself through a new lens, a more compassionate lens, a more powerful lens, a more accurate lens. Let that be true for you. As you return to full awareness, understand something important. Your future self is not someone you become someday. Your future self is someone you practice today. Every time you imagine them, you activate them. Every time you visualize them, you reinforce them. Every time you embody one of their qualities, you strengthen the neural pathways that make them real. You don't grow into your future self, you return to them. Slowly, steadily, intentionally. Now take one final, slow, steady breath. In through the nose and gently out. Let this breath be your first breath as the version of you that you just practiced being. Identity is shaped by repetition, and you have already taken the first step. When you open your eyes or shift your attention outward, know this: you have already changed. Not in a dramatic external way, but in a deep, quiet internal way that grows stronger each time you rehearse it. This is how transformation begins. Now, what comes next? In the next part, I'm going to teach you how to integrate this identity into your daily life, so it becomes natural instead of temporary. Before that, tell me in the comments, after everything we have done, how do you feel right now? Now let's continue. How to integrate your new identity into your daily life. Now that you have experienced your future self, the next step is integration, bringing that identity into the small decisions of your daily life. Identity doesn't stick just because you felt it once. Identity sticks because you continue rehearsing it in tiny moments that build who you are. Let me show you exactly how to do that. Integration principle number 1. Small actions with big impact. You don't need massive change. You need consistent, intentional actions that reinforce the identity you just activated. Ask yourself, what would the future me do in this small moment? Then do that. Just once. Just today. Because one aligned action is more powerful than 100 intentions. Your identity is shaped by repeated micro decisions. Integration principle number 2. Rehearse, don't force. Never force yourself to feel confident. Don't pressure yourself to be perfect. Don't demand immediate transformation. Instead, rehearse the identity the same way you practiced it in the visualization. Calmly, softly, consistently, intentionally. Your new self-image grows stronger each time you revisit it. Your brain learns through gentle repetition, not pressure. Integration principle number 3. Use your symbolic object. Your symbolic object is not random. It's a neurological anchor. Whenever you feel doubt rising, close your hand and bring the object to your mind. Feel its weight, see its shape, remember its meaning. This instantly activates the emotional state and confidence of your future self. Anchors are powerful because they bypass thinking and go directly into identity. Integration principle number 4. Speak like your future self. Identity is reinforced through language. Pay attention to how you speak to yourself. Instead of, I hope I can, say, I'm learning to. Instead of, I'm not good at, say, I'm getting better at. Instead of, I don't know if I'm capable, say, I'm becoming the person who is. Language shapes identity. Identity shapes action. Action shapes life. Integration principle number 5. Move like your future self. Your nervous system listens to your posture. Try this right now. Straighten your back gently. Drop your shoulders. Lift your chest. Relax your jaw. Breathe deeply. Notice how your mind shifts instantly. Your future self carries themselves differently. When you change your posture, you activate their emotional wiring. This is somatic identity rehearsal. Integration principle number 6. Revisit the visualization daily. You don't need 20 minutes. You need consistency. Even 60 seconds of imagining your future self is enough to reinforce the identity. Picture them, hear them, feel their presence. This repetition tells the brain, this is the identity we are choosing, and your neural pathways begin adapting accordingly. Integration principle number 7. Be patient with your evolution. Identity changes subtly at first. You may not see the shift immediately, but you will feel it in tiny moments. A moment of unexpected calm, a decision that feels easier, a fear that feels weaker, a boundary you didn't shrink from, a confidence you didn't expect, a sense of worthiness you didn't force, a thought that sounds kinder, a day where you feel more like yourself. There are signs your identity is updating. Let it happen naturally. Now, what comes next? In the next section, we will talk about how to visualize, not just for identity, but for reshaping your relationship with your past, so it stops influencing your future. And before that, tell me in the comments, which integration principle feels most important for you right now, okay? I just gave you 7 integration principles, yeah? Which one out of those 7 feels most important for you right now? Leave a comment. Now, how to change your relationship with your past through visualization. Important thing to remember, meaning is changeable. So identity doesn't only come from who you want to become. It also comes from how you interpret your past. 2 people can live the same moment and walk away with completely different identities. Because identity is shaped by meaning, not by events. The good news, meaning is changeable. With visualization, you can update the emotional code that your brain attached to old memories. Let's break this down in simple, truthful terms. The past isn't fixed. It's reconstructed. Every time you remember a painful experience, your brain reconstructs the memory. And during that reconstruction, it can update the emotional meaning. This is why something that once felt unbearable can eventually feel neutral or even empowering. Memory is not a photograph. It's a story your brain edits over time. And visualization gives you the chance to rewrite that story from a position of strength. Now, the 3 things your past can no longer do. Your past cannot define you unless you keep imagining it the same way. Your past cannot control you unless you keep feeding it the same emotions. Your past cannot limit your identity unless you keep rehearsing the old story. You are not trapped by what happened. You are only influenced by the interpretation your mind created. Interpretations can be changed. Now, the power of reframing through imagination. Here's how visualization helps you transform your past. When you reimagine a painful memory with compassion, strength, and a new perspective, your brain stores the updated version as the new emotional reality. You don't erase the event. You erase the old meaning attached to it, and a new meaning creates a new identity. Now, the two versions of you experiencing the same memory. Imagine this clearly. Version 1. Your younger self experienced a moment incorrectly, without wisdom, without context, without emotional maturity. They internalized fear, shame, guilt, or insecurity because they didn't know how to interpret it. Version 2. Your current self has the ability to reinterpret the event through strength, understanding, and perspective. When you visualize your current self visiting your younger self, comforting them, teaching them, guiding them, reframing the meaning, your brain updates the memory with your new emotional resources. That younger version of you no longer needs to carry the weight, and neither do you. Why this is not lying to yourself? Some people fear that changing a memory is dishonest, but here's the truth. Your old interpretation was already incomplete. It was already emotional, immature, and inaccurate. You are not lying to yourself. You are healing yourself. You are giving your brain the interpretation it should have had all along. A version based on truth, strength, and understanding, not fear. What this does for your identity. When you update the meaning of a memory, you update your emotional reactions, your beliefs about yourself, your sense of worthiness, your confidence, your self-image, your internal narrative. You stop acting from the wounded identity that memory created. You start acting from the empowered identity you choose. This is the foundation of psychological freedom. Now, what comes next? In the next section, I will show you exactly how to begin this process in a simple, grounded way, so your past stops defining your future. Please tell me in the comments. Is there a past memory you are ready to reinterpret? And now let's move on. How to begin reframing a painful memory. The gentle start. You don't need to dive into your deepest wounds to begin transforming your past. You start with something simple. A moment that still bothers you, but doesn't overwhelm you. A moment that shaped how you see yourself, even if it wasn't traumatic. Because healing doesn't begin with intensity. Healing begins with capacity. Let's break the process down into something you can do today. Step number 1. Choose a memory with charge, not trauma. Pick a memory that still holds emotional weight but doesn't destabilize you. Something like a moment you felt embarrassed, a moment someone criticized you, a moment you made a mistake, a moment you felt ignored, a moment you felt insecure, a moment you felt unworthy. Choose something small enough that you can look at it without shutting down. This is how you build mental strength, gradually. Step number 2. Imagine your current self entering the memory. Close your eyes and picture your younger self in that moment. See them clearly, not to judge them, not to analyze them, but to understand them. Then imagine your current self walking into that scene, not as a critic, as a guide, as a protector, as someone wiser, calmer, stronger. Your presence alone begins to change the emotional tone. This is the beginning of neural updating. Step number 3. Offer the support you needed back then. Approach your younger self gently. Stand beside them, sit next to them, kneel down to their level, and say the words you needed in that moment. Words like, "You didn't deserve this. You are not at fault. You are not weak. You are safe now. I'm here with you. You don't have to carry this alone. You are okay. I got you." The brain does not distinguish between receiving support then and receiving support now. Support is support. It rewires either way. Step number 4. Give your younger self the perspective they didn't have. Your younger self interpreted the event with the mind of a child or a past version of you that lacked context, maturity, and understanding. This is where you offer clarity. You might say, you weren't rejected, you were misunderstood. You weren't weak, you were overwhelmed. You didn't fail, you were learning. You weren't unworthy, You were unsupported. You weren't the problem. You were doing your best. When your brain hears these reinterpretations with imagery plus emotion, the memory begins to reorganize itself. This is emotional reframing through visualization. Now, step number 5, change the ending of the memory. You cannot change the event, but you can change the emotional ending. Imagine your current self soothing your younger self, holding them, comforting them, or simply standing beside them with strength and compassion. Let the scene end differently, with understanding instead of fear, with support instead of loneliness, with perspective instead of confusion, with empowerment instead of shame. The brain stores this as the new emotional resolution, and the memory loses the weight it once had. Now, step number 6, take your younger self out of the scene. Now, imagine gently taking your younger self by the hand and walking them out of that memory. Away from the pain, away from the misunderstanding, away from the emotional imprint that shaped your old identity. Bring them into a calm, open space, somewhere peaceful, somewhere safe, somewhere they can breathe. This represents removing that version of you from the moment that once defined them. You are showing your brain, this memory no longer controls my identity. Step number 7, integrate them into your current self. Finally, imagine your younger self standing in front of you. You look at them with the understanding you wish you had back then, and you say, you did your best, you survived what you didn't understand, and now you come with me. Not as a wounded version, but as a healed one. Then imagine them merging into your chest, becoming part of you again. Not as pain, but as strength. This is emotional integration. This is memory transformation. This is identity repair. Now, what comes next? In the next section, we will talk about how reframing your past unlocks confidence, worthiness, and inner peace faster than anything else. And before that, tell me in the comments, what memory are you ready to reframe first? Okay, now let's continue. Why reframing your past unlocks confidence in the present? When you reframe a painful memory, you're not only healing the past, you are changing who you are right now. Because your self-esteem was built from the emotional meanings attached to those memories. Change the meaning and the self-esteem updates. Change the interpretation and the identity shifts. Change the emotional resolution and your nervous system releases all the tension you have been carrying for years. This is why people feel lighter, calmer, and more confident after just one visualization. Your past stops being something you defend against and becomes something you grow from. Now, when the past changes, the future opens. Think of your past like a lens. If the lens is cracked with shame, you look into your future and see limitations. If the lens is clouded with fear, you imagine worst-case scenarios. If the lens is tinted with guilt, you imagine outcomes where you don't deserve success. But when the lens is healed, when the memory is reinterpreted, your future becomes clearer, brighter, more possible. You stop seeing obstacles that aren't there. You stop imagining failure before it happens. You stop expecting disappointment. You stop shrinking yourself to survive your old story. You start seeing opportunities. You start imagining success. You start expecting growth. You start believing in your path. Because when the past stops pulling you down, the future can finally pull you forward. Now, how reframing builds worthiness? Worthiness is not something you earn. It's something you recover. You were born worthy. But experiences, comments, misunderstandings, and emotional wounds covered that worthiness like dust over time. Reframing wipes the dust off. It reveals the truth that was always there. When you revisit a memory and give your younger self the support they never received, you are teaching your mind this: I was always deserving of compassion. I was always doing my best. I was never supposed to carry that burden. I'm allowed to feel worthy now. This is why reframing isn't just healing, it's awakening. You are not adding worthiness. You are uncovering it. Now, the self-image shift that happens automatically. After you reframe even one painful memory, something subtle but powerful begins to happen. You stop identifying with the wounded version of you. You stop seeing yourself as the person who struggled. You stop carrying the emotional posture of someone who was hurt. Instead, you start identifying with the calmer you, the wiser you, the stronger you, the healed you, the grounded you. Your emotional reactions change, your confidence increases, your self-respect grows, your boundaries strengthen, your decisions become clearer. All from the simple act of updating the meaning behind a memory. Now, the freedom that comes from emotional resolution. Every unresolved memory creates an emotional echo inside you. A lingering tension that surfaces at the wrong moments. When you want to speak up, when you face uncertainty, when you meet someone new, when you try something challenging, when you pursue your goals, reframing dissolves that echo. You stop reacting to triggers that used to overwhelm you. You stop feeling emotions that don't belong to your current life. You stop fighting battles that ended years ago. This is emotional freedom. This is psychological liberation. This is what allows you to grow without resistance. Now, the beautiful truth about your past. Your past does not define you, but it can refine you once you change your relationship with it. Your painful memories become sources of wisdom. Your struggles become sources of strength. Your misunderstandings become lessons. Your emotional wounds become openings for deeper self-connection. When the past stops hurting you, it starts helping you. So what comes next? In the next part, I will show you how to combine identity visualization with memory reframing so your transformation becomes unstoppable. And before that, tell me in the comments, how would your life change if your past stopped controlling you? Now let's continue. How identity visualization plus memory reframing create unstoppable transformation. You have learned two of the most powerful tools for changing your life. First one, identity visualization, imagining the future you. And second, memory reframing, healing the past you. On their own, each one is powerful, but together they create a transformation that feels almost unfair because of how quickly things begin to shift. Here's why. One tool pulls you forward. The other releases what was holding you back. This creates psychological momentum. Let me show you exactly how they work together. Step 1. The future self creates a new standard. Your future self doesn't just inspire you. They give you a standard, a model of who you are becoming. They show you how you stand, how you speak, how you think, how you trust yourself, how you handle pressure, how you handle uncertainty. Your mind begins to internalize this identity as your new default. But there is still one problem. Your past identity won't disappear quietly. Old beliefs, old memories, old emotions, they fight to stay alive. This is where reframing comes in. Step number 2. Memory reframing removes the old limits. Your past self carries emotional interpretations that once made sense but no longer serve you. Those old interpretations become invisible chains that restrict who you allow yourself to be. Reframing cuts those chains. It removes the emotional blocks that create self-doubt, self-sabotage, overthinking, insecurity, and hesitation. Your past no longer argues with your future, and now your identity transformation can accelerate. Step number 3. Your brain builds a bridge between old you and new you. When you visualize your future self, You activate the neural circuits of confidence, clarity, and strength. When you reframe your past self, you deactivate the neural circuits of shame, fear, and self-criticism. Your brain then does something remarkable. It builds a bridge between what you were and what you are becoming. This bridge is what creates rapid psychological change. It's how athletes gain confidence. It's how entrepreneurs overcome self-doubt. It's how leaders transform their presence. It's how people heal emotional wounds that have lasted for decades. You are building that bridge right now. Step number 4. The new identity becomes emotionally real. Identity is not a thought. Identity is a feeling. After enough visualization plus reframing cycles, your future self begins to feel like familiar, natural, aligned, comfortable, possible, and eventually real. This is the moment transformation clicks. When the identity feels real, your behavior instantly aligns with it. You don't have to force discipline, you don't have to push motivation, you don't have to battle resistance. You naturally act in ways that match your upgraded self-image. This is identity embodiment. Step number 5. Life begins to shift around you. Here's the part no one talks about. When your identity changes, your external life begins to reorganize itself to match your new internal state. You attract opportunities you once felt unworthy of. You speak differently, you walk differently, you make decisions differently, you set boundaries differently, you pursue goals differently. People feel the shift in your energy before you even speak. You show up in your life as the grounded, focused, confident version of yourself you rehearsed in your mind. This is why visualization is not woo-woo, it's identity programming. And identity drives behavior. Behavior shapes results. Now, the formula for unstoppable transformation. Here is the simple formula that changes lives. Future self-visualization plus past self reframing, current self transformed. One tool pulls you upward, the other releases you downward. When you combine them, your growth becomes exponential. This is how you transform faster than people expect, faster than you thought possible, faster than your old story can keep up with. Now, what comes next? In the next part, I will show you exactly how to practice these two tools together, so your transformation continues daily, effortlessly. And before that, tell me in the comments, which part of this formula do you need more of right now? Future self or past self? Okay, now the daily practice that merges future you plus past you. Once you understand how visualization and reframing work, the next step is creating a simple daily ritual that keeps your transformation active. This practice doesn't require hours. It doesn't require journaling, complicated steps, or anything overwhelming. All it requires is a few minutes in your imagination. This daily practice connects three versions of you: the future you are becoming, the past you are healing, and the current you are upgrading. Let me show you how to combine them into one powerful sequence. Step 1. Begin with future you. 1 minute. Close your eyes and bring the image of your future self into your mind. The confident posture, the calm energy, the clear eyes, the grounded presence, the quiet certainty. You don't need a full visualization each time. Just a glimpse, just a feeling. Let your nervous system tune into their frequency. Ask yourself, what energy does my future self have today? Let the answer come naturally, without forcing anything. This activates your identity blueprint. Step number 2. Find the past moment that needs support. 1-2 minutes. Next, ask yourself gently, what part of me feels heavy today? What part of me felt some resistance? What memory or emotion feels activated right now? Don't push, don't dig, don't overthink, just notice. It might be a memory of embarrassment, a moment of self-doubt, a fear, an insecurity, a criticism, a mistake, a moment you felt small. Whatever pops up first is usually the right one. Now imagine your present self approaching your younger self with the wisdom you have now. Offer them comfort, perspective, protection, understanding, or compassion. Just enough to loosen the emotional weight. This resets your emotional baseline. Now, step number 3. Let future you speak to past you 1 minute. This is where the magic happens. Imagine your future self walking into the same scene where your younger self is being supported. Your future self speaks not just to the younger you, but through you. Picture them saying, "You don't have to carry this anymore. You are safe now. You are becoming me. I am the proof you made it through. You are stronger than this moment. You are not defined by this memory." This is identity integration. Your mind begins linking your strongest future self with your most vulnerable past self. That connection creates rapid emotional upgrading. Now, step number 4, reunite all 3 versions of you 1 minute. Now imagine all 3 versions of you standing together. Your younger self, your present self, your future self. Visualize your future self placing a hand on each shoulder. 1 on your younger self, 1 on your current self. Then imagine your younger self stepping toward you, merging into your chest, becoming part of you as a healed version. Next, imagine your future self doing the same, merging into you as a guide, a blueprint, a higher identity. You now hold both the healed past and the empowered future. This is identity alignment. Now, step number 5, finish with a simple activation statement, 10 seconds. Place a hand on your chest and say slowly, "I am becoming who I meant to be." Or choose one of these. "I am upgrading my identity." "I am not my past." "I am growing into my future." "I am aligning with my highest self." "I am practicing who I want to become." You don't need force. You need repetition. This statement anchors the shift. Now, why this practice is so powerful? Because it does 3 things at once. Heals the past, activates the future, and rewrites the present identity. Most people work on these separately. You will be doing them simultaneously. This is how transformation becomes faster, smoother, more permanent, and more aligned. You are no longer battling your old self or waiting for your new self. You are integrating both. Now, what comes next? In the next part, we will talk about how to use this daily practice to change your emotional patterns, your confidence, your decisions, and your entire self-image. Tell me in the comments, will you practice this daily ritual? Okay, now let's continue. How this daily practice rewires your emotional patterns. Your emotional patterns were not formed randomly. They were shaped by repetition, repeated memories, repeated thoughts, repeated beliefs, repeated reactions, repeated interpretations. Now you are using repetition consciously to reshape those same emotional patterns. This daily ritual doesn't just make you feel better. It reprograms the emotional habits that run your life. Let's break down exactly what happens. Pattern shift number 1. Fear loses its automatic power. Most fear reactions don't come from the present moment. They come from unresolved past moments. When you update those past memories, fear stops firing automatically. Suddenly, you speak up more easily, you stop avoiding opportunities, you stop assuming the worst, you stop shrinking, you stop second-guessing yourself. Your nervous system begins to realize, I am safe now. I don't need to react like I used to. I am no longer that younger version of me. This is emotional freedom. Pattern shift number 2. Confidence becomes a baseline, not a peak. Most people experience confidence only in a brief moments, when conditions are perfect. But when you rehearse your future self daily, confidence becomes familiar, rehearsed, accessible, and repeatable. Your brain begins to treat confidence as a default, not a temporary state. This means you stop waiting for the right moment. You become the moment. Pattern shift number 3. Shame and guilt stop shaping your decisions. Shame and guilt are two of the most powerful identity shapers. They make you hold back, play small, overthink, people please, avoid risks, and feel unworthy of success. But when you support your younger self through reframing, those emotional programs weaken. You stop asking, do I deserve this? And start asking, what aligns with who I am becoming? Your decisions rise instead of shrink. Pattern shift number 4. You stop repeating the same emotional story. Most people replay the same emotional patterns because they never updated the original script. But you did. You rewrote the memory, you supported your younger self, you activated your future self, you merged the two into the present. You created a new emotional script, which means your brain no longer sees you through old emotional lenses. It stops saying, you are the person who gets embarrassed, you are the person who fails, you are the person who gets rejected, you are the person who is not enough, and begins saying, you are becoming the future you. You are capable, you are worthy, you are grounded, you are growing. This changes everything. Pattern shift number 5. Decisions become clearer and easier. When your emotional patterns improve, boundaries feel natural. Saying no feels healthy. Opportunities feel exciting instead of scary. Relationships become more aligned. Goals feel achievable. Risks feel manageable. Self-respect becomes automatic. You are no longer deciding from fear. You are deciding from clarity. This is what emotional maturity feels like. This is what identity alignment feels like. Now, pattern shift number 6. Your self-image evolves. Your self-image is the story you tell yourself about yourself. Visualization gives you a new story. Reframing releases the old story. Your daily ritual merges the two into a self-image that feels strong, steady, reliable, emotionally balanced, and capable. This is the foundation behind every successful person. They operate from an upgraded identity. You are building that identity now. Pattern shift number 7. Your emotional set point rises. Everyone has an emotional set point, a default mood they return to. For many people, it's anxiety, or tension, or insecurity, or self-doubt. But with daily identity rehearsal, your emotional set point shifts upward. You return to calm, clarity, confidence, groundedness, and self-trust. This is emotional elevation. This is psychological growth. Now, what comes next? In the next part, I will show you how this emotional rewiring begins to transform your behavior, your results, and the way people perceive you. And before that, please tell me in the comments, which emotional pattern are you most ready to change? We just talked about 7 patterns, yeah? So which emotional pattern are you most ready to change? Now let's continue. How emotional rewiring transforms your actions and habits. Once your emotional patterns begin to shift, your behavior changes without force. Most people try to change their life by attacking the behavior first. Be more disciplined, be more confident, work harder, stop procrastinating, stop overthinking, just do it. But behavior is the last thing to change. Identity comes first. Emotions come second. Behavior comes third. When you update identity and emotion, your actions follow automatically. Here's how. Shift number 1. You stop procrastinating because you stop fearing failure. Most procrastination is a fear pattern in disguise. What if I fail? What if I am judged? What if I'm not good enough? When your emotional patterns heal, those fears lose their influence. You don't need motivation to act. Acting becomes your default. Your nervous system no longer interprets action as a threat. Action becomes safety. Action becomes alignment. Action becomes natural. Now, shift number 2. Confident behavior feels easier than avoidant behavior. When your emotional baseline rises, avoidance feels uncomfortable and confidence feels comfortable. You naturally speak more clearly, communicate your needs, walk with better posture, hold eye contact longer, set boundaries, take initiative, go after opportunities, stand up for yourself. It doesn't feel forced. It feels normal. You are no longer trying to act confident. You simply are more confident. Shift number 3. Healthy habits become default habits. When your identity improves, your habits stop feeling like battles. You no longer need to push yourself to wake up earlier, exercise, eat healthier, meditate, plan your day, focus, study, take action. These habits become extensions of your upgraded self-image. Your habits rise because you rise. Shift number 4. You stop self-sabotaging. Self-sabotage happens when your old identity doesn't agree with your new goals. Your behavior pulls you backward because your identity is outdated. But once you integrate the future you, the healed past you, and the upgraded current you, your system becomes aligned. Self-sabotage disappears because there is no internal conflict. You stop undoing your progress, you stop doubting your worth, you stop resisting success. You start supporting yourself. Shift number 5. Your decisions get stronger and faster. When your emotional patterns are upgraded, your decisions no longer come from fear, insecurities, anxiety, old wounds, people-pleasing, or avoidance. Instead, your decisions come from clarity, confidence, alignment, intuition, self-trust. You stop hesitating. You stop overanalyzing. You stop asking for permission. You begin choosing based on who you are becoming, not who you used to be. This accelerates your entire life. Now, shift number 6. Discipline becomes a byproduct of identity. People ask, how do I become more disciplined? But discipline is not the cause. Discipline is the effect. Discipline becomes effortless when you trust yourself, you see yourself as capable, you believe you deserve the result, your identity aligns with your goals, your emotional patterns support action. Identity removes resistance. Emotion fuels momentum. Discipline follows naturally. Now, shift number 7. Your results start to match your future self. Your results begin to shift because you think differently, you feel differently, you act differently, you react differently, you decide differently, you show up differently, you expect differently, you accept differently. Opportunities expand, relationships improve, success accelerates, your energy rises, your presence strengthens, your influence grows. People begin treating you the way you treat yourself. This is the moment your identity starts shaping your external world. Now, what comes next? In the next part, we will talk about the external changes people experience when their internal identity rises, and why the world begins responding to you with more respect, more opportunity, and more alignment. Just before that, tell me in the comments, What behavior shift do you want to experience next? Okay, let's move on. So how the world responds when your identity rises. When your internal identity rises, your external world almost always changes with it. Not because of magic, not because of luck, but because your behavior, your energy, your presence, your decisions begin to transform in ways that the world cannot ignore. People sense the shift before you speak. Opportunities feel different. Boundaries become clearer, relationships feel more aligned, your environment begins to reorganize itself to match your new internal frequency. Let's break down what actually happens. External shift number 1. People feel your presence differently. Confidence is not loud. It's quiet, steady energy. When your identity becomes stronger, people listen more closely. People respect you faster. People take your words more seriously. People feel more grounded around you. People notice something different about you, even if they can't explain it. Your presence becomes magnetic because your internal world is stable. External shift number 2. You attract more aligned relationships. Your self-worth sets the tone for every relationship in your life. When your worth rises, you stop tolerating disrespect. You stop chasing people. You stop shrinking yourself. You stop staying in low-value environments. You naturally attract people who respect you, value you, support your growth, and treat you with the energy you project. This is not luck. It's alignment. External shift number 3. Opportunities appear where they didn't exist before. Your brain becomes more aware of possibilities that match your new identity. You start noticing openings you missed before, conversations that matter, connections that help you grow, ideas you never considered, chances that align with your direction. This isn't magic. It's the RAS, your brain's focus filter, locking onto opportunities that match your upgraded identity. Your future becomes more visible because you're finally tuned into it. External shift number 4. Your energy changes how people treat you. People respond not to your words, but to your energy. When your emotional patterns improve and your identity elevates, you speak with clarity, you move with intention, you make eye contact with purpose, you communicate boundaries firmly, you show up with calmness instead of anxiety, and people treat you accordingly. You stop being overlooked. You stop being underestimated. You stop being dismissed. You stop being treated as lesser. Your internal authority creates external authority. Now, external shift number 5. You make higher quality decisions. When your identity strengthens, you stop choosing comfort over growth. You stop repeating the same mistakes. You stop sabotaging your progress. You stop investing in the wrong people. You stop settling for opportunities beneath you. You begin choosing purpose over panic, alignment over approval, growth over fear, clarity over chaos. Your decisions elevate your life to match your new identity. Now, external shift number 6. You receive what you believe you deserve. Worthiness isn't about ego. It's about capacity. When you feel unworthy, you reject opportunities before the world even offers them. When your identity grows, your ability to receive grows with it. You begin receiving respect, love, attention, success, money, connection, and recognition, not because the world suddenly changed, but because you stopped rejecting them internally. This is the point where life opens. External shift number 7. Your future starts pulling you forward. When you combine identity visualization, memory reframing, emotional upgrading, and aligned decision-making, something extraordinary happens. Your future pulls you more strongly than your past holds you. Your actions feel guided. Your path feels clearer. Your growth feels natural. Your momentum feels real. This is alignment. This is identity transformation. This is the beginning of your next level. Now, what comes next? In the next part, We will talk about how to maintain this transformation so it doesn't fade, so it becomes your new normal. And before that, tell me in the comments, what external shift are you most excited to experience? We just talked about 7 external shifts. So, what external shift are you most excited to experience? Comment below. Now, let's continue. How to make your transformation last so it becomes your new normal. The biggest fear people have after experiencing a breakthrough is this. What if this feeling fades? What if I go back to the old me? But transformation doesn't disappear when you understand how to stabilize it. Identity is not a moment. Identity is a pattern. When you repeat the right patterns, the new identity becomes permanent. Let me show you exactly how to make that happen. Principle number 1, small consistency is more than big intensity. Transformation fades only when people depend on big emotional moments instead of small, consistent practices. You don't need long meditations, dramatic breakthroughs, huge bursts of discipline, or perfect confidence. You only need 60 seconds of future self-visualization, 60 seconds of supporting your younger self, a few moments of alignment, a few intentional breaths. Small consistency rewires identity more powerfully than rare intensity. Principle number 2, tie your new identity to daily actions. Identity becomes stable when you connect it to real behavior. For example, future you wakes up with intention, so you set one small morning ritual. Future you communicates clearly, so you practice one honest conversation. Future you walks with confidence, so you straighten your posture once today. Future you handles challenges calmly, so you pause before reacting once today. Identity grows through tiny confirmations. Each action says to your brain, this is who we are now. Now, principle number 3, use micro visualizations throughout the day. You don't need a full visualization session each time. You just need to recall your future self's posture, or their calm expression, or their energy, or their way of responding. Even a 1-second reminder reinforces the new identity. These tiny micro visualizations keep your brain calibrated. Think of them as emotional checkpoints that pull you back into alignment. Principle number 4, notice the wins, not just the problems. People lose momentum because they only notice setbacks. But identity shifts become permanent when you start noticing progress. Notice when you stayed calm, you chose alignment, you spoke confidently, you set a boundary, you believed in yourself, you handled something better than last time. These are micro proofs that your identity is changing. Your brain needs proof, but the proof is already happening. You just need to acknowledge it. Now, principle number 5. Expect resistance, don't fear it. When you upgrade your identity, your old emotional patterns may try to return. This is normal, not failure. It's simply your brain checking, is this the new identity or was that just temporary? When resistance appears, say, this is a sign I'm upgrading. Because resistance doesn't mean regression, it means reorganization. The old neural pathways are weakening. The new ones are strengthening. Stay calm, stay steady, stay consistent. The resistance will fade. Now, principle number 6. Return to your daily ritual when you feel off. Anytime you feel anxious, you feel insecure, you feel disconnected, you feel small, you feel overwhelmed, go back to the ritual. First, future self-visualization. Second, younger self-support. Third, integration. Fourth, activation statement. This resets your identity instantly and brings you back into alignment. You never lose the transformation. You just temporarily step away from it, and you can always step back. Principle number 7. Embrace the new you as a relationship, not a goal. Your future self is not a finish line to reach. Your future self is a relationship you build daily. Some days you will feel deeply aligned, some days less aligned. That's okay. Identity grows like a muscle, with presence, with patience, with repetition. Your future self isn't going anywhere. They're waiting for you each day ready to guide you, ready to support you, ready to merge with you whenever you choose to reconnect. Now, the beautiful truth about permanent change. Permanent change happens when your new identity becomes more familiar than your old identity. More rehearsed, more chosen, more practiced, more comfortable. And that happens through small, consistent alignment. Not force, not pressure, not perfection, just practice. You are not going back to the old you. You are becoming more and more aligned with who you were always meant to be. Now, what comes next? In the next part, we will talk about how to recognize when your transformation is becoming permanent and the powerful signs that your identity has fully shifted. And just before that, tell me in the comments, which of these principles will you start applying today? Now, let's continue. The signs your transformation is becoming permanent. There comes a moment when the new identity you have been rehearsing stops feeling like a practice and starts feeling like home. Not a motivational high, not a temporary shift, not a one-time experience, a permanent evolution, a deep inner calibration that becomes the new baseline of who you are. Here are the signs that your transformation is solidifying. Sign number 1. Your old patterns feel out of character. You may start noticing moments like, I used to react emotionally here, but I didn't. I used to panic, but I stayed calm. I used to overthink this, but I acted. I used to feel small, but I stood tall. I used to shrink, but now I speak clearly. Your old reactions feel foreign. Not wrong, not shameful, just unfamiliar. This is identity evolution. Now, sign number 2. You recover faster after moments of doubt. Transformation isn't about never feeling doubt. It's about recovering quickly. Before transformation, a moment of doubt turns into a day of doubt. A day of doubt turns into a week of doubt. A week of doubt turns into avoidance. After identity upgrading, doubt rises but loses power within minutes. You come back to center faster. You bounce back quicker. You find clarity sooner. This is emotional resilience. This is identity stabilization. Now, sign number 3. Your future self feels more real than your past self. There is a shift where the future you feels more familiar than the old you, more comfortable, more aligned, more natural. You start feeling, this is who I am, not this is who I am trying to become. Your future self becomes your present identity. Now, sign number 4. You no longer feel attached to old limiting beliefs. You stop saying things like, I have always been this way. That's just who I am. I'm not confident. I'm not good enough. I can't change. People like me don't succeed. These beliefs begin dissolving because they no longer fit your upgraded identity. You don't fight them. They simply feel irrelevant. This is psychological growth. Now, sign number 5. New behaviors feel natural, not forced. You begin acting in ways that once required motivation, effort, discipline, pushing, or emotional strength, but now they feel automatic. You naturally set boundaries, say no when needed, speak with clarity, move with confidence, pursue goals proactively, choose aligned decisions, let go of low-value situations. These aren't habits. They are identity expressions. Now, sign number 6. Your self-talk changes without effort. You hear your inner voice saying, you got this. You can handle this. This is who you are right now. You are becoming stronger. You are growing. You did better than before. Keep going. This is identity integration. Your internal narrator is no longer your old self. The voice now mirrors your future self. Sign number 7. You feel a new kind of calm. Not the calm that comes from avoidance, not the calm that comes from escaping problems, a calm that comes from alignment, a calm that comes from self-trust, a calm that comes from emotional understanding, a calm that comes from identity stability. This calm becomes your foundation. You start living life from the inside out, not from the outside in. Now, sign number 8, you experience identity click moments. These are micro moments where you say, wait, this used to scare me. Wait, this used to overwhelm me. Wait, I have never felt this grounded before. Wait, I didn't even think twice about that decision. Wait, I handled that like the future me. These are signs your brain has accepted the new identity. Identity clicks are the milestones of transformation. Sign number 9. People treat you differently. Others begin responding to you based on your presence, your clarity, your boundaries, your confidence, your energy, your posture, your tone, your calmness. People instinctively recognize identity. Even if they can't articulate the change, they feel it. You seem different. You seem grounded. You seem more confident. You feel calm. You have changed. This is external confirmation of internal transformation. Now, sign number 10. You start expecting good things. This is one of the most powerful signs of all. You are no longer surprised when things go well, opportunities open, people respect you, your work is valued, you feel happy, you feel capable, you feel aligned. You begin expecting success instead of fearing failure. This isn't delusion. This is identity alignment. Now, what comes next? In the next part, we will talk about how to keep expanding your identity so each evolution becomes a new starting point, not a final destination. Before that, tell me in the comments, which sign of permanent transformation have you already started noticing? Now let's continue. How to keep expanding your identity so you never stop evolving. Once your transformation becomes stable, a new phase begins. You're no longer trying to survive the past. You're no longer fighting old patterns. You are no longer repairing old wounds. Now you are expanding. Identity growth doesn't end when you feel better. It accelerates. Because now you have the emotional stability, the mental clarity, the internal alignment, and the self-trust to build the next version of yourself. Let's explore how identity expansion works. Expansion principle number 1. The future self has levels. The future self you met today is not the final version of you. It's simply the next version. As you grow, you will meet higher versions. The more courageous you, the more emotionally intelligent you, the more successful you, the more confident you, the more abundant you, the more grounded you, the more creative you, the more disciplined you, the more fulfilled you, the more aligned you. Each version brings new qualities, new strengths, new wisdom. This is the process of evolving self-image. Now, expansion principle number 2. Your current identity becomes a foundation. The person you're becoming now will soon feel normal. What feels like a breakthrough today will feel like a baseline in a few months. Not because you're ungrateful, but because this is how identity works. Today's future self becomes tomorrow's present self. And from that new foundation, you begin reaching for the next level. This is growth through identity stacking. Now, expansion principle number 3. Increase your capacity, not your pressure. You don't expand identity by forcing yourself to be more. You expand identity by expanding your capacity. Capacity to handle discomfort without shrinking. Capacity to make decisions without fear. Capacity to hold confidence without minimizing yourself. Capacity to receive without guilt. Capacity to dream bigger without self-sabotage. Capacity to stay grounded under pressure. You don't rise by pressure. You rise by capacity. Now, expansion principle number 4. Follow alignment, not appreciation. Growth comes from choosing what aligns with your identity and not what gets applause. Many people stagnate because they choose approval over integrity, comfort over courage, validation over truth, perception over purpose. But identity expansion begins when you start choosing what feels aligned over what feels accepted. Your future self doesn't chase approval. They follow direction. Expansion principle number 5. Upgrade your environment as you grow. Identity is influenced by the people and spaces around you. As you expand, You will feel less connected to certain conversations, less aligned with certain behaviors, less comfortable in low-energy environments, less tolerant of relationships that drain you, and you don't have to force anything. Your identity will naturally guide you toward environments and people that support who you are becoming. This is conscious evolution. Now, expansion principle number 6. Visualize the next version as soon as the current one feels natural. When your current self-image stabilizes, don't wait. Visualize the next level. Ask, what would the next version of me look like? What qualities do they embody? How do they think? How do they communicate? How do they make decisions? What do they no longer tolerate? What beliefs do they hold? What energy do they carry? Each answer becomes a blueprint for your next identity evolution. This keeps your growth continuous. Expansion principle number 7. Never let your past selves be enemies. Your past selves are not failures. They were stepping stones, they were learning phases, they were versions of you doing the very best they could with the understanding they had. When you honor your old selves instead of resenting them, your identity becomes whole. You grow without shame, you evolve without baggage, you expand without fear. This is emotional integration. Expansion principle number 8. Let your life be a series of self-upgrades. You are not meant to stay the same. Your life is a cycle of evolving, outgrowing, shedding, rebuilding, expanding. Every level of identity becomes preparation for the next. This is why you will never be done. Not because you're lacking, but because you're limitless. Identity doesn't reach a ceiling, it reaches milestones. And you have already reached one today. Now, what comes next? In the next part, we will talk about how to protect your identity from slipping backward and how to ensure external influences don't pull you off your path. Tell me in the comments, what version of your future self are you excited to meet next? Now let's continue. How to protect your new identity from slipping backward. Now that you have upgraded your identity, one of the most important skills you can learn is protecting it. Because transformation isn't just about rising, it's about guarding what you have built. Not out of fear, out of awareness. Your new identity is like a flame. It starts strong, but it needs protection until it becomes a wildfire of momentum that nothing can extinguish. Let's talk about how to guard your new self from slipping back into your old patterns. Protection principle number 1. Limit exposure to people who trigger your old self. There are people in your life who only know the old version of you. And not intentionally, but through habit, through familiarity, through old dynamics, they pull you back into old insecurities, old roles, old behaviors, old wounds, old versions of yourself. You are not required to cut them out, but you are required to protect your growth. Spend more time with people who interact with the upgraded you. Your identity is shaped by the reflections you allow. Protection principle number 2. Don't explain your transformation to people who can't understand it. You will feel the urge to justify your growth to people who are not ready to grow themselves. Don't. Not everyone is meant to understand your evolution. If you try to explain your transformation to someone who isn't on the same path, they will interpret it through their limitations, not your expansion. Protect your development by keeping some growth private while it stabilizes. Not everything needs an audience. Protection principle number 3. Expect old emotional patterns to test you. When you upgrade your identity, the old patterns don't disappear instantly. Sometimes they reappear briefly to ask one question. Are you sure this is who you are right now? Don't panic when this happens. This is normal. This is your brain testing the stability of your new pathways. Your job is simple. Notice the old pattern, acknowledge it calmly, choose the new identity anyway. Every time you choose the new path, the old one weakens. Protection principle number 4. Don't swim back to people who want the old you. As you grow, some people may become uncomfortable. Not because you are doing anything wrong, but because your evolution represents a mirror they are not ready to look into. Some may try to pull you back, minimize your growth, remind you who you used to be, or convince you you are changing too much. This is not about you. It's about their fear of being left behind. Your job is not to dim yourself to keep others comfortable. Your job is to keep evolving. The people aligned with your future will rise with you. Now, protection principle number 5. Update your environment as you update your identity. Your environment either supports your new identity or pulls you back into your old one. This includes your workspace, your habits, your routines, your digital environment, your surroundings, your conversations, your daily inputs. Ask yourself, does my environment match who I am becoming? If not, update it. Identity grows faster in aligned environments. Now, protection principle number 6. Check in with your future self daily. Your future self is your compass. If you ever feel lost, uncertain, disconnected, or overwhelmed, return to the visualization. Not as a ritual, as a recalibration. Your future self will remind you how to stand, how to breathe, how to think, how to act, how to carry your energy, how to choose your path, how to stay aligned. This is psychological anchoring. Your future self stabilizes your present. Protection principle number 7. Honor the boundaries that your new identity requires. Every new level of identity requires new boundaries. Boundaries around your energy, your time, your goals, your attention, your relationships, your emotional space. You don't set boundaries to be harsh. You set boundaries to be aligned. Your new identity cannot survive in the same conditions that damaged your old one. Protect your growth, protect your peace, protect your direction. This is self-respect. Now, protection principle number 8. Remember that slipping back is an illusion. People fear going backward, but here's the truth. You can't unlearn your growth. You can't unmeet your future self. You can't delete emotional breakthroughs. You can't return to a version of you that no longer exists. If you feel yourself slipping, it's not regression. It's integration. It's your identity reorganizing. It's your brain rewiring. It's the transformation stabilizing. There is no going back because the old you is no longer available. Now, what comes next? In the next part, we will talk about the long-term vision of who you can become when you commit to using visualization as a lifelong identity tool. And just before that, tell me in the comments, which protection principle do you need the most right now? And now we can continue. The long-term vision, who you can become through visualization. Let's step back for a moment and look at the bigger picture. You have learned how to meet your future self, heal your past self, integrate your identity, rewire emotional patterns, transform your behavior, attract aligned opportunities, protect your growth. But this isn't just about feeling better. This isn't just about healing. This isn't just about confidence. This is about who you can become over the next year, the next 5 years, the next decade. Visualization is not a technique. It's a lifelong identity tool. And when you use it consistently, your entire life transforms. Let me show you what that looks like. Vision number 1. You become a person who leads their emotions, not reacts to them. Instead of being pulled by anxiety, you lead with clarity. Instead of drowning in overthinking, you move with intention. Instead of letting fear decide your actions, you decide your actions consciously. Your emotions become your signals, not your prison. This is emotional mastery. Vision number 2. You become a person who trusts themselves completely. Trust becomes your default state. You trust your decisions, you trust your intuition, you trust your future, you trust your path, you trust your ability to overcome challenges. This is inner leadership. Confidence is no longer something you chase, it's something you are. Now, vision number 3. You become a person who moves through life calmly. Not slowly, calmly. Calm is not weakness. Calm is clarity. Calm is strength. Calm is control. Calm is presence. Calm is the superpower of someone who has mastered their inner world. This is psychological freedom. Now, vision number 4. You become a person who makes high-level decisions. Most people make decisions from fear. You will make decisions from identity. You will naturally choose alignment over anxiety, purpose over pressure, growth over comfort, clarity over confusion. Your decisions begin shaping your life in ways you once only imagined. This is identity-driven success. Vision number 5. You become a person who attracts higher quality experiences. As your identity rises, so does the quality of your relationships, opportunities, conversations, goals, success, environment, daily life. You stop chasing and begin attracting, not because you are passive, but because you are aligned. This is personal magnetism. Now, vision number 6. You become a person who creates their future intentionally. You no longer wait for life to change, you create the change. You visualize it, you rehearse it, you embody it, you act on it, you refine it. Your imagination becomes a tool for building the life you want. Just like athletes build victories and entrepreneurs build visions. This is mental craftsmanship. Now, vision number 7. You become a person who lives with purpose. When your identity is aligned, your purpose becomes clear. You feel called, not confused. You feel guided, not lost. You feel meaningful, not empty. Purpose isn't found. Purpose is remembered. Visualization reconnects you to the path you were always meant to walk. Now, vision number 8. You become a person who others look to for stability. People notice your grounded presence, calm energy, emotional intelligence, clarity, confidence, truth, strength. You become someone others feel safe around. Someone who leads with presence, not force. This is the identity of a high-level human. Now, vision number 9. You become a person who no longer fights themselves. Perhaps the biggest transformation of all. You stop being your own enemy. You stop doubting yourself. You stop sabotaging yourself. You stop criticizing yourself. You stop fearing your potential. Instead, you become your own ally, your own mentor, your own supporter, your own leader. You live in a partnership with yourself. This is wholeness. This is maturity. This is liberation. Now, vision number 10. You become a person who rises continuously. There is no limit to how far visualization can take you. Every time you evolve, the next version becomes visible. You rise, then rise again, then rise again. This is not motivation. This is identity evolution. This is what happens when your mind becomes your ally. You become unstoppable. Now, what comes next? In the next part, we will move toward the emotional conclusion of this video, tying together everything you have learned into a powerful, grounded message. And just before that, tell me in the comments which long-term vision resonates with you the most. And now, let's go to the emotional closing. You are not who you used to be. Before we close this video, I want you to pause for one moment and look at what you have done today. You met your future self. You healed your past self. You integrated both into your present identity. You rewired emotional patterns. You elevated your confidence. You strengthened your self-image. You learned how to protect your transformation. You discovered who you can become over the next year, over the next decade, over the rest of your life. Very few people ever do this work. Even fewer do it with intention. Almost nobody does it at this depth. But you did, and that alone already separates you from who you used to be. This is no longer a nice idea. This is who you are becoming. You're not the same person who started this video. Think about that. The person who pressed play had one identity. The person you are right now has a different one. Even if you don't fully feel it yet, your neural pathways have shifted. Your emotional patterns have shifted. Your internal narrative has shifted. Your sense of possibility has shifted. Transformation doesn't happen all at once. It happens moment by moment, choice by choice, repetition by repetition. And this moment is one of those moments. A turning point, a line in the sand, a beginning. The belief you just built is real. This isn't fake it till you make it. This isn't pretending. This isn't wishful thinking. This is neuroscience. This is identity programming. This is emotional recalibration. This is imagination being used the way it was designed to be used. Your brain cannot tell the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. And you just imagined a stronger, wiser, more aligned version of yourself with clarity, emotion, and intention. That means the shift is happening whether you realize it or not. You're closer to your future self than you think. Every time you visualize them, you move closer. Every time you reframe your past, you move closer. Every time you choose alignment, you move closer. Every time you support yourself emotionally, you move closer. Every time you practice the identity ritual, you move closer. Growth is not a leap. Growth is a direction, and you are already walking it. Now, the most important truth of this entire video. Lean in for this. Your future self is not a fantasy. Your future self is a memory you haven't lived yet. A memory your brain is preparing for. A memory your identity is moving toward. A memory your actions will begin creating. A memory that already exists in the world of imagination, waiting for you to step into it. This is why visualization works. This is why identity changes. This is why your life can transform faster than you expect. Because you are not creating a new self. You are remembering who you were always capable of becoming. Now, what comes next? In the next part, we will enter the final message of the video, the moment that ties everything together and sends you into the rest of your day with clarity, strength, and purpose. Tell me in the comments, what truth from today's video hit you the hardest? Okay, and now the final message. Who you are becoming starts now. Before we end, I want you to hear this clearly, because it might be the most important thing you take from this entire video. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not late. You are not defined by your past. You are not limited by old memories, old emotions, old beliefs, or old versions of yourself. You are becoming someone new, someone stronger, someone wiser, someone more aligned, someone more confident, someone more grounded, someone more capable than you realize. And the shift has already started. You are already walking toward the person you imagined. The moment you saw your future self, the moment you felt their presence, the moment you supported your younger self, the moment you reframed your past, the moment you understood your identity, the moment you applied the ritual, the moment you chose alignment, something clicked inside you. Maybe small, maybe subtle, maybe quiet, but real. This is the beginning of psychological momentum. And momentum is more powerful than motivation. Motivation fades, momentum compounds. You don't have to force anything. Identity work is not about pushing yourself into becoming someone new. It's about relaxing into the truth of who you are capable of being. It's about remembering your strength, remembering your worth, remembering your potential, remembering your direction. Your future self is not waiting for perfection. They are waiting for commitment, not intensity, consistency, not pressure, practice, not force, alignment. Now, your mind is your greatest tool. You have heard me say this many times, yeah? Your brain cannot tell the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined, which means your imagination is not a toy. It is not a distraction. It is not escapism. It is a technology, one that can heal you, reshape you, elevate you, guide you, and change the direction of your entire life. Most people never learn to use it, but you are learning, and you are using it, and you are already seeing the shift. You are not who you used to be, and you will not go back. Now, let this be the truth you carry with you today. You are becoming the version of yourself that you once thought was impossible. You are stepping into a new identity. You are walking toward new opportunities. You are attracting new experiences. You are thinking in new ways. You are feeling in new ways. You are choosing in new ways. And the world will adjust to the person you are becoming. not the person you were, you're rising. Now you are ready for the next chapter. Take one deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Feel the energy in your chest. Feel the clarity in your mind. Feel the alignment in your body. This is not the end. This is the beginning. The beginning of your new identity. The beginning of your new emotional patterns. The beginning of your new self-image. The beginning of your new momentum. You are ready, and I will walk with you every step of the way. Okay, and now, very important part of the video. Your next steps. Continue your transformation. If you felt something shift inside you today, if something clicked, if a part of you feels clearer, calmer, or stronger, honor that, because this isn't the end of your journey. It's the beginning of your mental transformation, and I'm here to help you go deeper. If you want to continue this work with me, here are the next steps you can take right now to keep building your mind, your identity, and your future. First thing, join the Mental Fitness Gym membership. Currently, a waitlist. Waitlist is open. So it's a private community where we train the mind like a muscle, where high achievers and growth-minded people support each other, rise together, and practice the tools that change your inner world. If you want structured growth, a powerful environment, and a place where your transformation accelerates, the link is in the description. Now, second thing, start the 30-day mental fitness bootcamp. If today felt powerful, the bootcamp takes everything deeper. Daily exercises, daily identity shifts, daily emotional upgrades, daily mental strength training. It's the perfect next step for creating real lasting change. Link is in the description. Now, third thing, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want more videos like this, guided transformations, identity upgrades, visualization practices, and the neuroscience behind becoming who you want to be, then subscribe. Because this is just the beginning of where we are going. And now, fourth thing, comment below. Tell me, who is the future you that you are now committed to becoming? Not for me, for you. Your comment becomes the first declaration of your upgraded identity. Now, final words. Your mind is the most powerful thing you will ever own. And today, you took the first step in mastering it. I'm proud of you. I'm with you. And I can't wait to see who you become from here. Take a deep breath and welcome to the next chapter of your life. I will see you in the next video.